We're gonna do a Cambodian clear noodle recipe, and usually for this clear Cambodian noodle recipe, usually when we cook it, we take it to the temple during the Cambodian New Year, and for year 2021, it's gonna be April 14, 15, and 16 for the Cambodian New Year. Usually it's in a Southeast Asian country that celebrate during this time. And right now I'm going to show you the ingredient of the clear noodle, or the some people call it glass noodle. And this is the black, what do you call it? The black fungus mushroom, and this is dry. So here I'm going to show you a little bit. This I bought the pre-sliced it, so it would just be pieces like that. And you would soak this in the water for about 1 hour. And after you soak in it, this is what it would look like. So this is what it would look like. The texture of it, when you taste it, it's almost like what you call it, gelatin. So some people really like that gelatin taste, and some people might not. And if you like it, you can add more. This is the they call lily flower, okay? And sometimes in Cambodian we call it tui jade, or banana flower. But when you go to the Asian store, these one I'm able to buy at the Cambodian grocery store only. The black fungus mushroom and the lily flower. And so this is already soaked over 1 hour, so it's more layer color. But if you haven't soaked yet, it's dry. This is how it looks like. Right? This is how it looks like. Like some of them is a little bit long, so some people cut it, but I don't cut them. See, like this one is a little bit long, but I don't cut them. Just this is the other ingredient, the bean curd, that's what we call it in Cambodian, the bean curd. I'm using about 3 sticks, but it does come in sheet. It comes in pieces. But I like buying this, and sometimes when it doesn't fit in my bowl, I would just break them up. Right now I'm breaking it up there. So it's like that. And then once you soak it, and this is how it looks like this. The clear noodle, depending on from which store you buy the clear noodle, there's these bags that come in like 5 serving. They tell you it says 5 serving on it. And this one, it comes in 8 serving. I like this one. When I use the 5 serving one, I use three of the serving. And then for the other one, this one is just 8 serving. And when I say you can use 2 bunch, this is what I need. I soak for at least 1 hour. Okay. Sometimes when you do soak it over too long, when you cook it, it might break up easily, and you don't want it to break up, too much. This is after soaking. This is what it looks like. So about there, I would say about 3 inches there. Cut it like that. So just cut it. See how it's long. Just to make when you're serving it, it's easier and it's better mixed. There. Like that. And then I'm going to put it in this large bowl. The shiitake mushroom, you can soak it overnight. So, now in the main grocery store, you can get dry shiitake mushroom. This one, I bought the one that's already pre-sliced shiitake mushroom. And this is what it looks like when it's dry. So it's look like that. You can always buy fresh mushroom as well. Except I went to the store today. They didn't have any fresh shiitake mushroom, so I end up using the dry mushroom instead. Okay, and this is what it looked like when you actually once you already soak it overnight. When I say dry shrimp, this is what it looked like. So you can get it at the Cambodian store. This shrimp, what you do, I take about 1/3 of a cup or 1/4 of a cup because it's used as flavoring, and soak it, but wash it a little bit, and then you can use the water because the flavor does come out from it when you soak it. Wash it first and then soak it, and then you can still use the water to be part of the flavoring of your clear noodle recipe. The squid. I actually have to ask the store owner about the squid if they have it in certain sections. So they usually keep behind the cashier counter or close to the cashier counter, and it comes in a bag. And this is how the dry squid look like. Okay. So not all stores have it, but most of the Cambodian stores do have it. That's what it looks like, and then you soak it as well. Wash it a little bit and then soak it, and you can still use the water as well to be part of the flavor. So the string of was that the squid is a little bit stronger. Okay, a little bit stronger, and I'm using only one. And this is what it looked like. So there's what do you call the bones. You just make sure you take that out, and then you're gonna cut it. Pull that out. You're gonna cut it, chop it. If you, I'm gonna use a blender, okay, to really make sure the flavor come out, but if you don't have a blender, you can just mint it. When I said the water that I soaked, so I'm going to use it, so I'm going to put it in a little bit. Okay. Put that in. And I also have the shrimp here. I'm gonna blend it in as well. Some people they use they drain it and dry it, and then use the coffee grinder, just ground it, and then it becomes more like finely grounded, and you can use that as well. But today I'm gonna use the blender, and instead of just mincing the squid and the shrimp, dry shrimp, I'm gonna blend it. This is already blend the squid and the shrimp. It will give more flavors to the stir-fry clear noodle. And this is the bean curd, the pusatay. So it's already soaked, and so now I'm just gonna chop it. Some people chop it straight, even like that. For me, I kind of like it a little bit diagonally chopped it like that. I use about 1 carrot. I pulinate it, or you can chop it as well. Okay, so I have this things that I pulinate just like that. But if you don't have it, you can always just chop it. Just chop it. Usually, because we are cooking with noodle, just for it to go along with the noodle, you just want to cut diagonally and then, in length about 1-2 inch or so, like that, and you can still use that as well. Just like that. Because I'm not using a lot, I'm not using it as vegetable. I'm just using it as some colors too for the cooking. So I don't need a lot. I just need a little. So you see, when I do it, it's much easier. Like that. Chopping, it takes some time, but it can still be done. That's it. That's all I need. I don't need a lot. Just about that much. And this is my onion. I'm just using only one medium onion. Some people that like onion, they might want to use a little bit more. But for me, this one is good enough. And then I have here, it's about what, 5-6 garlic cloves. You can use at least 4, 5, or a little bit more, 6. One head, I have one small head of garlic cloves, so that's what I'm chopping right now. It's the garlic prepared it, and I'm putting it in a little. So that's the garlic, and then the spring onion or the scallion. I'm just gonna chop this about 1 inch. You can do, like I said, you can do straight or you can do diagonal. So I'm just gonna do it diagonally. Chop it. That aside. So when you I'm using about a pound or a little more of a pound of the chicken breast. I'm gonna take out the extra fat, so I'm gonna cut that out and throw that out. I still want chicken breast to be clean, so any extra excessive fat on it, I just cut them out. And you can always chop it, slide it the way you wanted your chicken. My opinion, like thin, a little bit long, to 1 inch or so. That's what I like doing. So just chop it like that. And you see if it's too thick or if it's too big, you want to cut it in half. I'm just using, because I said 1 inch, it just to go along with the clear noodle. Sometimes some people, when they eat it, they use chopstick instead of the regular fork and spoon, and they like to use chopstick just to pick up the food. Okay, so now I'm all done with chopping the chicken. I'm gonna go and actually cook the noodle, the stir fry. But you can always use the meat of choice. If you don't eat meat, you can use tofu, but the tofu, you might want to use the extra firm tofu. And when you cook, don't stir too much when you use tofu, or it break down. And yeah, any other meat substitute. A lot of the Cambodian, we use pork. They would take the pork belly part portion where they usually make bacon, use that part, or sometimes you don't want to spend all this time chopping or anything like that. You can always buy the grounded buy the ground pork, or if you are more into turkey and in terms of protein and diet, you might just want to go ahead and just use ground turkey or ground chicken. My friend, she like using ground chicken or turkey. You can always do that, but this one I'm using chicken breast. We cook and simmer it for about 10 minutes. Right now, I'm gonna measuring out the spices. I'm gonna put it right in together, so that way it make it easier for me to remember. Okay. So, right there. I don't have to worry about what did I put in or not put in. The recipe called for like 1 to 2 teaspoons of sugar. If you really watch out for your sugar, you might just reduce it. But this one, I'm just cooking for regular, so I'm going to use 2 very full teaspoons of sugar. And then for the oyster sauce, I'm going to use 1 teaspoon as well. There's the soy sauce, another teaspoon of fish sauce. I'm going to use half a teaspoon of the black pepper. I'm going to put it right in as well. But if you don't want it too spicy, you might reduce the black pepper as well. And the same thing, half a teaspoon of the chicken base soup bouillon or chicken base soup raw.
The chicken was cooked it for about 10 minutes. I added the cooked shiitake mushroom. I added about 3 cups of water from that soaked squid and shrimp. So I'm using that about 3 cups of water and add it and bring it to a boil. I'm adding the cooked shiitake mushroom in this small pot to the baker pot. The mushroom was simmered for about 30 minutes at low heat. You can cook it even longer, or like close to an hour, but just make sure that you're not your pot is not dry and it's not over bubbling. Cook it at low temperature. And now I'm adding the cauliflower, the bean curd, and the black fungus mushroom. So now I'm gonna cook it and simmer it until halfway water left. In this small clear bowl, I still have the black peppers, oyster sauce, soy sauce still sticking to this bowl. So I'm using the liquid from the boiled mushroom to just take all the spices and adding some extra water from the cooked mushroom into the pot.
This one, when I use 1 teaspoon, it's just so that it's not watching up with sodium. But if you like it a little bit more, you can always add the extra soy sauce even after the cooking. Added the onion, the clear noodle, and then simmer a little bit for about 5 minutes so that you actually cook the noodle.
The last ingredient I'm adding is the scallion or the spring onion. I'm adding it just before I turn off the heat.
After that, so you see the halfway down cooked water, but now it's all dry. What happened is the clear noodle soak up all the juices, the sauce. So here is our clear stir fry and noodle, or the glass noodle. This is all done. It is good. So enjoy and then try out the recipe.